they asked me to make a presentation on something cool that was mobile. So one of the things that we've been can you all hear me? Okay, so one of the things we've been working on is an inspection solution, and it's something that's out there using right now, but I wanted to talk about mobile in general a little bit and what the trends are. I took Janet my new slide presentation, and she said, So I've got the same one that I turned into her yesterday, but I want to talk about a little bit about mobile and where this thing's going. We're seeing more and more mobile devices in the hands of consumers. So I think that as state agencies, everybody needs to really think about, what am I going to do mobile? I think you're going to be forced to do something sooner than later, and if you adopt this, I think it'll be to your benefit. There's some statistics out there that I had in these slides, but one of the things that Arkansas is ranked, I can't remember if it's 1 or 2, I think it's tied for first, but Arkansas is the leader in citizens that do not own landlines. So 35% of Arkansans do not own a landline in their house. So their mobile device is their only connection. And then of those, 43% of all phones are smartphones. And then if you look at the trends, you would think, well, people are out there doing transactions on mobile devices. Well, where they're doing them from? They're doing them from restaurants and their cars and things like that. No, 43% of all the transactions on a mobile device, and this is from a survey, are done at home. So, more and more people, that mobile device, that internet connection is their only connection to the internet. So they don't have desktops or laptops. So for Arkansas.gov, we see only about 6% of the people come to Arkansas.gov are coming from a mobile device. So those are smartphones or iPads, that's what we consider. But if you look at specific user groups, the adoption is much higher. We have a mobile application for the Universal Scholarship application and search solution. For that, and you think, okay, who uses that? Well, that's high school students are the ones applying for scholarships. About 13 or 14% are using mobile devices, so it depends on your demographics, what your adoption rates are, but more and more people are using mobile devices for internet solutions. We have, I don't know, probably 10 mobile solutions within Arkansas, and Arkansas is really known as a leader. We get calls all the time from New York, from Connecticut, asking, how did you guys do this? You were the first to do this, you were the first to do that. So Arkansas, and that award kind of, goes along with that. Arkansas is known as a leader in mobile government. So we've got probably more solutions than any other state, or as many as any other state, actually. So it's something to be really proud of. So what I want to show you today is just a mobile inspection solution. It worked. So this is specifically for inspecting school buses. So I'm not sure what the number of school buses are in Arkansas, but there are thousands of them. So this solution is for inspecting school buses, but think about other things that you have people going out and inspecting. Gas storage tank. If you're working for environmental quality, there's thousands of gas tanks, underground storage tanks in the state that have to be inspected annually. Restaurants, cosmetology salons. You can probably name dozens of things that need to be inspected out in the field. So instead of taking a paper, notepad with you and coming back and doing all your check marks, writing in all your information, coming back, rekeying that into some kind of database, you can do this on a mobile device and just transmit the data back to the central database and do all your reporting from that. So water pollution quality, boilers, there are thousands of boilers in the state. I've been talking to labor recently. I had no idea the number of boilers that we have in the state. So those are just some of the examples that I wanted to share with you. So this device is it's a native device that runs on the BlackBerry Playbook. playbook, excuse me. But I think a key point here is it can be ported to any device. So one of the slides that I had was the adoption of iPad type devices out there. And I think, I'm not sure exactly, but iPad's got like 70, the high 70s as far as adoption. So the playbooks, the galaxies, the things like that, you know, it's still a small portion, and it's dominated by the iPad. Now there's one player that's coming forward that I think is going to change that, and that's the new Kindle Fire. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's an Android OS. It's highly customizable by Amazon, but still it'll run any Android device on that. So that's something that I think is going to gain, you know, a large market share. So I've got some screenshots here, just kind of walk you through the process, kind of give you an idea. And again, keep an open mind. This can be any kind of inspection you want. It's not limited to buses. But in here, the first thing you probably want to do is do a search. Okay, so you're at a storage tank, you're at a bus, you want to key something in to retrieve that information. Now this specific device, the way this solution works, is you do have a central database, and this will go out and pull that information and keep it locally on this device. And then so if you look up a bus, then it'll give you all the details about that bus. And when you've completed your inspection, then you upload that to the central database, and you know, you give it your inspection results. One of the things here you'll notice on the bottom, I hope you can see that, but you've got a little plus mark over there. So if you've got a new bus that's going into service, you can hit that plus, and then you can come in here and add the details about that specific bus. We'll go back a screen. And then you also notice that over there on the bottom left, there's a scanning code or a QR code. So what this solution has done is they printed out these QR codes and they place them on the bus. So when the inspector goes to a bus, all he does is take that device's camera, and he puts that camera over that QR code, and it says, okay, I know which bus this is. It pre-fills all the information, so you don't have to go back in there and do a search. It knows exactly where the bus is and all the details about that bus. You can also, one more. You can also search for a inspection device or a bus or a storage tank or whatever it might be. So in this particular result, they've given you the VIN. Well, who wants to enter a 18-character alphanumeric VIN number? So they added a license plate, which is unique. So when you get to that search, it'll bring up a verification screen and says, yes, this is a bus that I'm inspecting. And you can also, if you look at the top, there's an edit button. And what this particular user wanted to do is, on the right-hand column, they wanted to have the mileage recorded. So every time they find the new bus that they're inspecting, they would go in here and they would update the current mileage for that bus. You can do different types of inspections. You can do a re-inspection. So if a bus has failed inspection, you'll have a separate list of re-inspection buses, and you can go in there and check just those things that failed last time. And then you can tell it what kind of inspection you want to do, annual, semi-annual, or a spot check, registration, or a post-crash. So again, keep an open mind. All this is customizable based on what inspection type you're doing. And the other thing that this did was when the inspectors were out in the field, they had this list that they would go through, and they would go and they would check the radiator cap, and then they would go around and check the tailpipe, and then they would go inside the bus and check the communication, and then they would get under the bus and check the, whatever's under the bus. So this allows them to program the inspection so it works on area by area by area. So you do everything under the hood, you do everything interior, you do everything around the body, and then so it just kind of walks through different areas so you're not up and down, in and out. And so that's how they chose to do that. The other benefit of this is some inspections are just tell me what's wrong. You know, I don't care about anything else in the database. I just want to know what's broken. Well, others have to go through every item by item and either give me a pass or a fail. So you can design the system where you can have them go through here and be required to, you know, press pass or fail or out of service. So you'll get some kind of notation on every component of that inspection. So others, you can go in there and just look at specific areas. So you can go in here and say, okay, now I want to look at the floor covering. So it's got a smart search. You can hit F and it'll start giving you results, or you could hit C and it'll still giving you floor covering. So, or you can give it code numbers. So a lot of inspectors that have been doing this job for 10, 20 years, they know every code in the book and they know where they want to go. And so they wanted the ability to enter a code number in here and go right to that area. So if you're in floor covering, you can see that you've got these codes that are correlated back to the floor covering area. And you can go in here and you can say, okay, the area line is missing or improper, and you can reject that specific code number. And then with these smart devices, tablet devices, you can go in there and take a picture of whatever's broken or needs to be repaired, and then upload that, and that automatically goes to the database. So just taking advantage of things like the camera. Maybe for an underground gas storage tank, you use geocoding. When you hit that device, you can geotag exactly where that device is located, and you can store that information in the database. So we've rejected one item that's up there in the top right, and then we can go on to our next item, and maybe that's the communication system, and we're going to reject that also. And then you always get a summary of the things that have rejected at the top, and you can click on those and it'll show you the things that are rejects or the things that are out of service. And then you can either reject entirely that inspection, bus or storage tank or whatever, and then you can sign it. And as an inspector, you logged into this system in the very beginning, so you can have your electronic signature as part of your login. So when you reject or approve something, it automatically applies your signature to that inspection and uploads that to the database. You can also email. So let's think about if you're a hair salon, you have to be inspected annually, and I don't know if that's the case, but so you go through the inspection, or a restaurant, I'm sure you have to be inspected annually or even more often than that. So they go through all these checklists, and then you pass. Well, you can email that restaurant or that salon their annual certification, and they can print it out, and then you can email them a link, and they can go pay for their license renewal or whatever. So you're not having to go back to the office and then printing a certification, piece of paper and then mailing that to them. You can let the user take some of that burden and just email that and print that out and put it in their frame and stick it on the wall.
123.
123. Okay, so any questions anybody has? No one?
What kind of database the back end is running?
It's a SQL.
SQL?
Yeah. And again, if you had an Oracle license and it needed to be an Oracle, it's real open right now about which direction. But this is running on a SQL database. Okay.
Phil, if they're interested in doing something themselves, they just need to contact you guys.
Yeah, we can. We've got a lot of different mobile solutions, and this is one we're trying to, see if there's some need for. We're talking to a couple of agencies about this right now. So if you got any questions, you can contact me. My email is very simple. It's phil@ark.org. So, or Janet, Leslie, or somebody can get that to you.